you have to make sure like you never took other offer international mobility such as summer or fall program or internship or exchange and so on, and then have at least 3.0 GPA and approved by the Transcript Academy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my podcast. Thanks to every one of you who listens and learns from this podcast. We will explore the ins and outs of the scholarship application process, providing you with a valuable insight, expert advice, and practical tips to increase your chance of success. Whether you are a high school student preparing for the college or the graduate student aiming to pursue further studies, this podcast is designed to empower you with the knowledge and strategy you need to fund your education. So we've got you covered whether you are looking for scholarships to cover tuition fees, accommodation, study abroad experiences, or research project. So today's guest is one of my friends in Freeport. So please welcome my dear friend Sandra. Hi Sandra, how's it going, Sandra?
Hello.
Hi. Okay, thank you very much for being here. So before we start the conversation, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'm Sandra Sandri. People on Freeport know this Sandra, but you can call this Sandra as well. Informative. I was born in Korea in 2002. And I'm currently 20 years old. I'm a student in one of the big universities in Indonesia, but I'm currently doing internship. In the song that I can select in the song.
Okay, so the first question is, could you please tell me briefly what brought you to Australia and what kind of the program that you apply?
Okay, so I was doing a student exchange program on 2022. So at the time, I applied for Indonesia International Student Mobility Award. This is a program initiated before our government, and specifically for Ministry of Educational, Technology and Research. So basically, they have like a program called Campus Merdeka. Probably like some of you guys that currently listening on this podcast have known about this briefly. Well, for those people who are currently studying in university, then you have a change to like join to this program Campus Merdeka. So that basically provide like internship program and social activity and also student exchange that I applied for like a year ago. And so actually like I don't know that much about Campus Merdeka itself. At the time, I'm just for the exchange program that was funded by the government. I just know a bit about Campus Merdeka. But anyway, like this program basically like gives a change for the students to study overseas, and we can also determine which university that we are going to study at and which country that we're going to live in. There are more or less 17 universities from 4 continents, and in this program, like we can take units based on various choices of courses in one semester, which is for 6 months, or less 6 or 5 months. And all of the lessons that we got from our host university, all of them can be converted to home universities credits. It is like equivalent as 20 credits. So after you step back or after you come back to Indonesia to your home university, you don't have to add more semester. You can just convert it your transcript that you got from your host university to your home university. So don't worry about that if you want to apply for this program.
That was probably for bachelor or in master degree.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this. So basically, this exchange program is just for vocational and bachelor students. So it's not a master's degree program. They have their own program called LPDP, or LPDP scholarship, sorry.
Okay. So what are the benefits that you get after you were accepted as a awardee of this program?
And the first one, of course, like you will get more knowledge and that insights and also the understanding about a different culture and set of things, and then you can also expand your network. Because I'm pretty sure that when you are studying there overseas, like you will meet lots of people, you will meet like lots of friends. And yeah, it can expand and grow within your network. And then you can feel like what is it called, like the difference of educational system between host university and home university. And then I've heard about this before, like in the previous from the previous already, they say like in some of the universities there's an industrial visit agenda, which is very beneficial, I think, for students. Like you can visit some of companies or another country, such as Mercedes-Benz company, then Google, and so on. But unfortunately, like, I didn't feel that. I just sit in workout because I took that scheme at a time, so I didn't feel that. And then this is basically a fully funded exchange program. So you will get a living allowance when you live in another country, and then you will get insurance allowance, and then you will also get a flight ticket back and forth for Indonesia. Yeah, for Indonesia to your host country, and then also from your host country to Indonesia. And then for visa expense, it is all covered by the government as well. And then you will get emergency allowance.
What about the basic needed for your living in Australia, like meals or shelter or I don't know, apartment? It's covered by this program.
Yeah, all of the things that were covered from the government. Like I told you before, like you will get a living allowance and you can determine items. Yeah, which you don't necessarily that you want to live in. When you can manage your living allowance with your own, they're gonna give you like amount of money in it.
Wow, amazing. So why Australia? So the country destination is decided by the program, or you have the option, like you choose. I prefer to choose the UK or the US rather than Australia.
The first one is because I don't know. I feel like I did a lot of research about countries all around the world, UK, US. I wanted to go US, but I don't know, like my dad wasn't allowed me to go there because that was quite dangerous for me. And I think that was the first time for me to get a wandering. He didn't give me a permission to go about. Meanwhile, Australia is really close to our country, and Australia is very, very safe. If we compare to UK and then US, like I think those countries are quite dangerous because like they have their own regulation. But in Australia, it's more safe. That's why I choose Australia. And also like the courses that I took at the time, like that was just suitable for you to apply in one of the universities in Australia.
Okay, so for somebody who want to join in this program, could you tell me from very beginning what is the kind of requirements to join, or what kind of university you need to study before you go to the Australia?
Okay, so I just know for this program, so you have to be a bachelor or vocational student who are actively studying in the university under the umbrella of Ministry of Educational Research and Technology. So if you are currently studying in university under the umbrella of, let's say, just Ministry of Religious Affairs, you are not allowed to apply for this program because this is the Ministry of Educational Research and Technology's program. Then the second one, you have to be an Indonesian citizen and another dual citizenship. And then you must be a student in fourth or sixth semester because you're gonna go overseas in fifth or seventh semester. And then for the age, maximum, you are 22 years old, and then make sure that you never took a semester off during university period, and then you have to make sure like you never took other offer international mobility such as summer or fall program or internship or exchange and so on before you apply for this program. And then have at least 3.0 GPA and it proved by the transcript academy. And then what else? Like have an adequate English proficiency test score. Of course, like this is very necessary for you to study abroad because you're gonna listen to all of people like speaking in English or English. So for the minimum for IELTS, it should be like 6 band on IELTS or 78 for TOEFL, for 100 for dual English test, or 80 or 150 per TOEIC. And then you are currently not receiving any other scholarships from the Ministry of Educational Research and Technology or even LPDP while participating in the ESA program. And then make sure that you are not participating in other campus Merdeka programs while participating in the ESA Macro one. Yeah, I think that's all.
So what about students came from the private university? So Merdeka program is only for government university or in private university as well?
No, it's not only for public university. If you are currently studying in private university, you are allowed to apply for this program as long as you are under the umbrella of Ministry of Educational Technology and Research. Because like there is a university called WIN, University as Islam something. Yeah. This university is actually under the umbrella of religious affairs, so they are not allowed to apply for this program because they are not under the umbrella of Ministry of Educational Research and Technology. But you can apply for this program as long as you are under the Ministry of Educational. Doesn't matter like if you are private university or public university model.
As long as you have a GPA more than 3 and also IELTS score more than 6. Am I right? Okay, so how to apply? I mean, how did you find this information? It came from your university or came from the social media or website?
Okay, so it began from 2021. So in 2021, like I was really looking for the Florida scholarship, but I don't know, like at the time, like that was quite hard for me to find it. For the fully funded one, that was quite hard for me. Like most of the programs are actually like partially funded, and at the time, like I didn't have to cover all of the tuition, giving allowance, and so on. And at the time, I been looking for it. Then all of a sudden, like my friend just texted me like, I've heard about, and she was like, I've heard that you're still looking for a fully funded exchange program, right? And I was like, yeah, I really need that information. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna give precious information for me, aren't you? And then she was like, yeah, there's an opportunity for you. So there's a program called INSMA and blah blah blah. She explained to me about this program, and then I was like, yeah, I was really excited to apply for this program. So yeah, I knew it from her. But before I knew it from her, like I also had been looking for this kind of program on social media such as Instagram, and that like some of the websites are also like asked to my international office in my universities. Yeah, but I couldn't find it, like the fully funded one. But fortunately, like my friend just texted me at the time when I was like so grateful.
Okay. So, could you please tell us about the selection phase of this program? Start from very beginning.
That's from the beginning. So the first stage was like I had to turn in the documents, which are all the things that related to our identity and that our English proficiency test that I told you before, and then the transcript of academic. And in my batch, I had to turn my essay like in the first stage, but I don't know, like probably like in other batches, like in the first or the third batch, it's gonna be different. But based on my experience, like I trained my essay in on the first stage, and then you have to fill out like the form in their platform. So they actually have like their own platform on one
Website.
website. And then we have to fill out a short thing gave at a time. And after that, like after we completed all of the things that are required by the committee, and then we submit our document, our application. And after that, we have to wait when we are 2 or 3 weeks after we submitted our after the deadline. And then after that, like they're gonna announce like whether you are accepted to follow the next stage or not. And then once you have passed for like the first stage, and then you will be invited to the next stage, which is interview session. And in this interview session, like before you got the schedule to have an interview session, like you have to choose like the university and the country that you're going to study at and you're going to live in. And then after that, after you have already like choose it, and then we will give you like a schedule of your interview. And then after you pass the interview, after you pass the interview, I think that's all. Like they're gonna give you the announcement after 3 weeks. Who are people that who are going to go overseas and stated as in our team. That's all.
How much time you need for fulfill all of the requirements, start from the phase number 1 until the interview, until you are accepted in this program?
I don't really remember, but I think that was like around approximately like 2 months. 2 months, I think.
2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's quite long.
No, I never.
So what about the eligibility criteria to apply for this program?
I think I told you before, like I've already explained.
Like in GPA more than 3, class 6.
Wrong.
Okay. What about the experiences for interview? Are they asking you some particular things that probably make you feel confident that you will be accepted in this program?
Okay, so most of the questions that they gave at the time were like all the things related to my answer. So I told you before with the first stage, like I wrote an essay. Basically, they gave us some of the questions. There were like 4 questions, but I don't really remember. I just remember one of the questions. They asked us about our achievements, either in academic or academically, and then in the interview session, like they asked me about discipline. And yeah, I think most of the questions were actually from our essay, and I was quite confident to answer those questions because I think I've already mastered all the things that I wrote on my essay. So, for me, for this 1, 2, apply for this program and you get a free seat, your interview session, all the things that you need to do is you have to learn more deeper about your essay that you have written before. So in this session, in this stage, like essay, learn about your essay. It's very, very necessary for you. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, I was kind of nervous at the time, but the way I overcome it was like, I just tried to calm myself down, and then I told myself, I was like, it's okay, I'm gonna pass it, we're gonna get through this, and then after that, I feel more calm down and just let everything flow. Yeah.
What is the most difficult things while you are applying in this program? Start from I think like in the first phase, if you have already 3 GPA and then you already have IELTS test score more than 6, it's already passed, right? And then what is the phase that you currently feel really struggling for you?
To be honest, like I was very struggle on my essay. I don't know how to start it off. I don't know how to kick it off because I think that was my first fight for the draft, and that was so exciting to write what kind of essay. I think that was quite hard and very. I overcome it by like I asked to the previous already. So I was the second batch, and they were the first batch of this program, and I asked them how to start it off. The first thing that I asked to them, like how to start it off. I was very confused. I got no clue, and then they explained to me like blah 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 blah. And then after that, like I did like some consultation from the previous already. Like, do you think my accent is quite good? Do you think this is proper to turn it in? And I asked so many things to the previous already. So I think I could overcome it.
So okay, you communicate with the previous awardee. So how did you find the previous awardee?
So basically, if you are already accepted as an awardee, you have to make like an Instagram account that's specifically for your university. Let's say, for example, like let's say I'm studying in Harvard University. I have to make like Instagram accounts like @Harvard, and then at a time like I look for those awardees by visited this account. Like I visited that account, that university account that I found out. They posted the name of the awardees of 2021 batch, and I decided to hit them up.
Okay, so people will easily to find the previous awardee, the previous batch of
from their Instagram example.
After you are accepted in this program, it will take how much time before you are departs to the Australia?
Wait. I think that was quite a short time, just for a month.
A month.
After
announcement?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think
that's quite a short time.
Okay. Back to the interview and also the previous phase. So could you give us some advice or suggestion for somebody who want to join in this program? I mean, in the EC section or in interview session?
Well, I think it's gonna be the same strategies that I'm gonna tell you more than actually a TV session. So in essay and interview section, I think this is the time for you to show up your ability. Like I mentioned before, like at the first question, they gave us a question like, what is your achievement in academic things and non-academic things? And I think this is the time for you to shine, right? This is the time for you to show them up, like to show that you are deserved to be one of them. But like not that much, because they're just too confused.
Perfect.
And then the second one, like you have in writing an essay or doing an interview, I think it is necessary for you to use STAR method. The first one, you have to explain and elaborate about the situation that you face at the time. Like, for instance, at the time, there was a question like, what is your biggest challenge in the university? How did you overcome it? And at the time, like, I explained the challenge by writing that I say, and then after that, like, I also explained like the tasks, and then after that, I explained about the action that I took at the time to overcome that issue, and then I also elaborated like what is it called, like the result, or the way to, and then the result is like the outcome from your action that you took at the time, and then what else? Like for essay itself, like I think it is necessary thing. I think I told you before, like you have to ask your friends or other people, like your lecturers or probably like your English teacher, to prove it your essay, because like everybody has like their point of view. So this is very important for you to ask for them to prove with your essay. And one, don't forget to check your grammar, because this Indonesia International Student Mobility Awards, you're gonna use English in your essay, and it is necessary for you to check out your grammar. You can use Grammarly, or you can also ask your English teacher. So and then for interview session, you just calm down, and I told you before, like just learn more and deeper about the essay that you have written for, because they're gonna ask you about all of these things. I think it's wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna make it summarize that academic achievement is the most important before you decide to join in this scholarship program. Am I right? So what about the student? What about people who don't have any academic achievement? Do they still have chance to join in this program?
Yeah, they do. They do. Like, actually, academic achievement is not only just like, I won at the debate competition and sort of things. It is classified as academic achievement. Also, if you like gain like more than 3 GPA, you can write it on your essay, and then you can tell the comedy in the interview session. Like, I think academic achievement is not really necessary for you to apply for this program. You want to try this, try it. That's okay. Even if you don't have an achievement, even if you don't have non-academic achievement, it doesn't matter for you. Yeah, I think you're still allowed to apply for it.
For your personal opinion, what about the non-academic achievement, like somebody who have talents for like singing, dancing, or art? What do you think? They still can apply it in this program?
Yeah, of course. Is that those things are non-academic achievement things. It can be classified as non-academic achievement things. And as I said before, like if you don't have achievements at all, like it doesn't matter. Like you can still apply for this program, because there's no, like, as far as I know, like there's no requirement for you to turn in the certificate. If you have once, you can turn it. But if you don't have it doesn't matter. You can still apply for it.
Okay, amazing. So after you are accepted in this program, just only 1 month after that, and you need to immediately depart from Indonesia to Australia. So what kind of preparation do you need for make it comfortable stay and living in Australia?
What kind of
Preparation, yeah.
Because that was a to be honest, like I didn't prepare that much. But I think the important thing was like the coat or like other thick clothes for you that for me that in the host country in Australia, because when I departed to Australia, that was a winter season. So I think that was an important big thing that I prepared all the time. But unfortunately, like I told you before, that was just a short time for me to prepare for all the things. So I just wrote like one coat, and that wasn't enough for me. And then I bought it in Australia because I didn't pay for in the UK at all. And then what else? Like I also wrote like spices, Indonesian spices, because I was thinking like I would miss Indonesian dish if I didn't bring this spices. So I decided to wrote it. I decided to bring it. And then what else? That's all. I just had a short time at the time. I didn't prepare that much.
How many the lowest temperature in Australia while you are in the Australia?
Longest. I think like 4
4 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, there was no snow at the time. So when winter season starts, it was just like you will feel cold, but there's no snow. Yeah, it's just cold.
Okay. After you arrived in Australia, what kind of culture shock you encounter in there?
Culture shock. Wait.
Like a language? Do you feel like comfortable speaking with Australian people?
Yeah. I think so. Like the language. I think that was for the first time I arrived to Australia, because I know like they are speaking English, but that it was quite hard for me to understand them, like because they are using Australian accent, which is very very difficult. Like Australian accent is actually the combination of Indonesian and American and British accent. And before I came to Australia, I hadn't heard this kind of accent before, and I didn't do like a research of Italian accent. So, but the first time I came to the course, and like I was so confused and the lecture like convey about the materials and all of the things. Like when they spoke to me, like I had to really focus on what are they gonna say, because that was quite hard for me to understand them. But I think as the time goes by, like I'll study in the class and almost every single day, and I got used to it. I think like I got used to the accents, and like even I feel like I got influenced by their accents, and I don't know, like I feel comfortable in Australian accent right after I come back earlier. That was because I got influenced later. But yeah, I think that was the culture of life in country.
For how long time you feel struggling to adapt this new culture in Australia?
I think like a month, or less a month. Yeah.
After that, you feel comfortable.
Yeah, after that, yeah, especially in language barrier.
What about your experience? Because you're Muslim, right? And then, do you have any obstacle to practice your religion in Australia?
No, to Wallace law, because when you would pray together with other people, there's a mosque really close to my door, and then, of course, in my university itself, like they provide a mosque as well, like small one, and we were able to like ask for the permission if we want to pray, let's say in Zuhur time, and we wanted to pray close over time, and then we could ask the permission to go out share it, and they let me to do it. Like, yeah, they're respectful because like Australia is a country that most of the people there are majority from other countries, like from immigrants, so they are very respectful.
Multicultural country, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's big, Muslim friendly in Australia.
Yeah, it's Muslim friendly.
What about the food? Do you encounter some strange food or difficulty to find halal food in Australia?
Okay, I'm really bad at it, sorry, but I mean, like, at the time, I don't know, that was, to be honest, that was quite hard for me to find, like, halal logo in the restaurant. There are, like, several restaurants that labeled halal in front of the wall, but that was quite hard for me. Like, even though if I wanted to find, like, McDonald's, that confirmed as halal, I had to go to place that so far away from a place. It took like around an hour to go there, and I think at the time it's just like, as long as it is not pork and it is not lard and it is not containing, what is it called, like alcohol or sort of things, I think I was just gonna end it. That my bad, I know, but yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, after you come back to Indonesia, what's the difference between studying in Australia and also studying in Indonesia in terms of like educational system or teacher, lecturer, or the material that you are studying? What is that?
For me, like, I think the lectures were very helpful and also care. Like, at the time, like, our lectures always asked for us in every single day, like, is there any obstacles for you to work on this assignment? If you want to ask me, like, questions, just ask me questions. And then they asked it, like, to each student. Like, he was around me all over the class, and then he asked for each student, and I think that was quite hard. And I couldn't find it in Indonesia. And then, like, I think when I was studying there, like, I experienced like more practical lectures rather than theory. Well, so at the time, like, I was doing what is it called, like a simulation of meeting a partner in business and sort of things. And so yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, probably it will be the last question for me. So what is the most memorable moment or event or places in Australia?
Wait, memorable moment.
Like your memorable moments or memorable time or your friends, it was place or a food that is really hard to forget this moment. The most memorable moment.
Yeah, I think when I was in my vacation, so at the time, like, I spent my holiday by going to several places in Western Australia, which are beaches, and then what else, like a desert and sort of things. And there was like a long time to go there, like to go on to those places. And I think that was a quite memorable ones. And then, like, when I gathered with my international friends in my dormitory, and Friday night leave together, and so there was like a room, like, we can hang out there in my dormitory, like, we can hang out there with our neighbor and so on. And we used to gather there in that room in every Friday night. For the place, I think the most memorable one is my university. I don't know, like, because I spent for the medicine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Sandra, thank you very much. I'm about to wrap up this conversation, but before I wrap up this conversation, could you give us some suggestion for somebody who want to pursuing or continuing study in another country, or somebody who want to pursuing scholarship?
Probably, I'm just gonna tell you, for those who want to pursue your dreams by studying abroad or study overseas, especially if it's scholarship program, I think first thing first, beside of just preparing for your documents and all of the requirements, I think you also should know, like, what is your motivation to do it. And you should know, like, what is the feedback or contribution that you're going to give to the instance that give you that scholarship. For example, like, you're going to apply for the LPDP scholarship program. This is basically a scholarship program funded by our government, specifically from Ministry of Educational Research and Technology. It means that they are hoping once you come back to your home country, to Indonesia, you're gonna bring something different. You're gonna bring something bigger to make Indonesia as a country, as a better country in the future. That's why before you apply for this kind of scholarship, I think you should consider more about them. And it is necessary for you to make a plan of it. And I'm just gonna tell you, like, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Just go far away from your place in order to gain more experience, knowledge, insights, and sort of things. I am pretty sure that you could be like the agent of change in the future. You could be a person that could bring Indonesia to be a better country in the future. And I just want to tell you that growth basically takes place when you are challenged, and when you are feeling uncomfortable. So don't be afraid to pursue your dreams, to go far away from your place, because it's gonna be worth it in the end. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Sandra, thank you very much for being here, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your personal experience, and see you later in another episode of my podcast. And thank you very much, and bye-bye.